In this video, we'll go over how to install the GRFICS lab. Full documentation can be found at github.com/fortified/GRFICSv3. We recommend that you install and run GRFICS on a Linux operating system. However, it doesn't have to be a native Linux operating system. You can use a virtual machine or WSL2. For example, if you have a Windows machine, you can open a PowerShell prompt and type wsl.exe, install, and then the distribution of Linux you would like to install. From there, consult the Docker documentation on how to install Docker on your specific Linux distribution. In this case, for Ubuntu, there's a few lines that you can copy and paste from the documentation to add it to the apt repository, and then you can do an apt install to install the relevant Docker commands. You are also going to want to install Git and Git LFS, and optionally you can allow a non-root user to use Docker by using sudo usermod -ag docker and then the user. From here, there's two different ways to install GRFICS. The probably easiest one is to pull the pre-built images from Docker Hub. To do this, copy and paste the curl line from the GRFICS documentation into your command prompt and run that command. And then you can run docker compose pull. And this will take some time as it has to download the images. And then you can run docker compose up -d to start the images. If you're running Linux natively or in a virtual machine, the steps should be the same. Follow the steps to install Docker on the Docker documentation for your distribution, and then either pull the pre-built images as before or clone and build them. There may be a few caveats. If you get an error about a sub-interface not being able to be created or something like that, first figure out the name of your network interface. In this case, I use IPA. And then go into the Docker Compose file and replace all instances of the network interface name with the correct network interface name. It's possible you also get an error because the port can't be bound because it's already in use. In this case, try to stop any sort of server you might be running. In my case, I had to stop the Apache systemtl service. So far, we've shown how to pull the pre-built images, but if you want to clone and build them yourself, you can use Git to clone the GRFICS GitHub repository, then cd to that directory, and then run docker compose build. This will take quite a long time, but after it finishes, you should be able to use Docker like normal, starting with docker compose up -d.